So I realized that there's something very weird going on here. The rich people want to be happy, and they think they're not happy because they focus only on money. The poor people want to be happy, and they believe they're not happy because they don't have the money. So I said, we gotta share some information here from thousands of years ago and make it simple for the people to understand that whatever you develop skills of being rich or being happy, you need to understand we are driving on the same road.
Hey, it's Rocky. Welcome to Richer Soul. Today's guest is Eliyahu Jian, who's going to share how to live a life in harmony. Imagine it's 12 months from now, and you've achieved your major life goals. How does it feel to be in the best shape of your life? To wake up energized, excited about the day? To have great relationships and friends who support you and propel you forward? How does it feel to have an excess of money, to be able to make the choices you want? To be fearless and open to trying new adventures? Imagine being connected to the universe and it providing everything you desire. It's possible over time, and your past does not dictate your future. The only thing holding you back from this vision is you. It's time to take control of our thoughts and use them to our advantage. Welcome to Richer Soul, where we achieve our dreams and bring balance to health, wealth, relationships, time, and spirituality. If you have not had a chance to listen to episodes 1 through 9, I encourage you to go back and listen to the framework behind Richer Soul and how to create the life of your dreams. You can also find all the show notes for this episode at richersoul.com. While you're there, you can sign up for a monthly email where I share the best articles I read this month, let you know about upcoming episodes, and share a little wisdom. You can also listen to coaching calls under the Coaching Calls tab. I also share the most interesting articles I read every week on Facebook at facebook.com/Richer Soul. And there's also a Facebook group where you can ask questions and interact with other listeners. Today's quote is by Josh Kahneman in My Personal MBA. Are you spending time doing work you like with people you enjoy in ways that keep you financially sufficient? If so, don't worry about what other people are doing. If not, make changes in the areas of your life you can control to move your life in the direction you desire. We're going to go deep on that quote today in today's episode with our guest. But first, let's review last week's action step, which was to download your LinkedIn profile and see who your connections are. I already did that one a while ago, and I'm working on building my connections. Are we connected on LinkedIn? If not, why not? Reach out, and in the note, mention you're a listener, and I'll make sure we connect. I've been sprinting these last few weeks, and it's been crazy busy in a world where you can't go out. I find that interesting. I'm also working on my self-development. It's a long journey, and I'll keep going till the day I die. I never want to stop learning and improving myself. It's what brings me joy. I love that I can share what I'm learning with all of you so we can take this journey together. We have an exciting guest today. Let me tell you about him. When people like Madonna, Roseanne, Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Guy Ritchie, Michael Strahan were at the crossroads in their lives or wanted to find more meaning, purpose, or direction, they turned to Eliyahu. Through his organization, The Vital Transformation, and his book, The Laughing Billionaire, How to Become Rich and Happy, Eliyahu is once again popularizing the profound life wisdom of Kabbalah in a way that can help people transform their lives to find meaning and joy. He says there are millionaires and billionaires, but few are fulfilled. Few live the life of the ultimate billionaire lifestyle. His aim with this book is to give you the tools for psychological, physical, and spiritual transformation. These tools, in turn, enable you to lead a billionaire lifestyle, one in which your soul's desires are met. You'll become happy. Let's meet our guest and find out how. Welcome to Richer Soul, Eliyahu Jian. It's great to have you join us today.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm excited to learn from you today. We always like to start at the beginning. What was it like when you were growing up, and how much did your family and school teach you about money?
I think life teach me more about money than family or school. The one thing that my family always motivate me to do is, no matter what's going on out there, find something to do that you can earn a living. You know, I will owe that to my parents, that they teach me the concept of living. So whatever that I want, I had to work for it. So the old tradition of family were teaching you that you got to work. Doesn't matter if you make a small amount of money or any type of money. That's better than not make money at all. Then I would say life, mostly New York City. That's where I learned mostly about sustenance and money. This is where it came from. You know, while I'm teaching, while I'm practicing sales, while I'm practicing people, if you're familiar with a group called Landmark, you know, so mostly it happened in New York. And basically I was a spiritual leader who teach people about the well-being of the mind. And most of my customer happened to be super wealthy. And because most of the customers are super wealthy, and I would say that I have a great ears, so I was listening, and through listening and through study from them of what's going on, I think that was the best lesson, more than school, more than anything else.
And we'll chat a little bit more about the lessons that you learned from them. I'm just curious, though, because I have a quote from one of your things, that the one gift that we as parents and as humans have to give people we love is the one gift we're afraid to give, and that's the gift of independence. Not by giving our children money, but by teaching them how to be independent without us in the picture. So I'm curious, how are you teaching your kids to live?
Very good. Well, I will tell you the first story of my son when he was maybe 11 and a half or 12. You know, I have one of my clients as a very big insurance company. And I asked him if my son can, during the summer, can work for him in anything. Even if he's young, I said, just let him be and get an atmosphere of work. He said, yeah, what for? Do you need money? I can give him the money. I said, no, it's not about money. It's about the lessons of life. And okay, you know, so my son go there. I make him sandwiches and food, almost like he's going to work. Send him there between 8 to 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. And I remember when he received a little bit of money after work, and he did some paperwork for them. It was a big insurance company, and the beauty that he understood life, he understood money, and then later on, he bought a little pizza business when he was in high school. And the money that he made from the pizza business was actually when he sold it. And not just when he sold pizza every day to the kids in the high school. He became like a delivery from a pizza store that he made the deal with. So basically, he became independent on making money. This year, where he's in the second year of college, he make a deal with college somehow that he doesn't have to pay even a penny by him teaching and doing different job. The other son was running a camp for kids. My daughter was helping my other son to run the camp for kids. So what I help my children do is become reinventing themselves in every opportunity they have. You know, one of them studied to become a lawyer. One of them studied to become a doctor, not a doctor, a psychologist, which is a doctor in a way. And my daughter's still in high school. And what I'm trying to say is, when you help your children or the people you love to be basically not depending on you, not just money-wise. I would love to give the money. It's the joy of parents to give money to everybody around you that you love. But it's more about they can earn their identity and their personality when they find something to do.
And that's part of it, is giving them the opportunity to do that so that they can learn and grow. I find many parents hold their kids back, which is a shame. We need to let them have that independence and try. And it's a lot easier to fail when you're young than when you've got your own kids and family depending on you, and you need to make sure that there's food on the table.
Exactly. It's a wonderful thing. And my parents gave me that gift, as I say before, because without them, I would not even understand the concept of money. I didn't grow up rich. I grew up in Israel in a poor neighborhood or inner city neighborhood. So we didn't know goods, but we never felt we missing anything. Because my mom, God bless her, and my father, may rest in peace, always found a way to make it look rich and to let us enjoy having a wonderful and rich life. So if we didn't have meat in our house, my mother will manage to get the dry bread and turn it into meatball. and I know it sounds like a little crazy, but it's not, because that's what it takes. That's what it takes when you come up with ideas and then you realize, well, if there is nothing out there, why don't you do it yourself? And it's something. It's not something that you need to study in school. It's something that you have to develop within you, a desire. And I always tell people, please develop one thing, as I write in my book, which will be, the concept of desire. You have to raise your level of desire for more. Because if you just sit there and wait for something good to happen, I'm telling you, this knock on your door that you're all waiting for is not coming.
It's not necessarily coming. And when the knock comes, you have to be ready to answer the door and be prepared to take action, which is the other part of it, is preparing yourself and doing the work to make sure that you're in the place to answer the door.
Totally.
So one of the things that we do here at Richer Soul, we talk about knowing your purpose, having the right mindsets, and then bringing harmony to health, wealth, time, relationships, and of course, spirituality. Are we on the right track with that? Is there anything else that we should focus on?
Spirituality is the number one thing, or self-awareness is the number one thing. I mean, you can make all the money in the world, but you will be miserable. And you can be no money and still miserable. So misery is coming from a lack of connection to an inner force that we all carry from within. We call it, if we based on the wisdom of Kabbalah, we call it soul. It's the essence of what been mentioned in Genesis, that we've been created an image of God. We don't talk about the body as image of God. We talk about the soul. So the soul itself carry, we should call it a residue or impression or something that comes from the Creator. So if a person is not making an effort to find some spiritual understanding of this life, I'm not talking about religion, because religion is finding God in heaven, where spirituality finds the soul from within. We're not talking about that God is sitting in heaven and using a microscope or telescope to look who did well and who did bad. There is a cause and effect to life. Of course, if you put your finger into the socket, you're going to kill yourself. So that's the effect of the wrong behavior. But it's not because God is sitting there and choosing bad from good. Because if you believe in the divine, you believe that the divine doesn't have good and bad, doesn't have time, doesn't have space. There is no such a thing as good and bad. So you climb yourself to such a high level that at that high level, you understand there is a clarity, there is a truth. There is something more than the eyes can see and that your ear can hear. Oh, it's out of reach from your hand. It's something which is way more than physicality. When you get to that understanding, then whatever you reach or poor, you have all different awareness of life. And for that reason, when I teach people who are super wealthy, or when I teach somebody who doesn't have enough money to live on, it's really doesn't matter what you are. It's better, are you ready to make a difference about your self-awareness or who you are? This is what I'm focusing on when I'm dealing with my client. You know, where is your mind? Where is your heart? Where is your feeling? What's going on at home? That's the real deal.
That it is. And we'll dig further into that in your book. Here is a question, though, that I think a lot of people misunderstand. And that is, can money, business, and spirituality go together?
Absolutely. It's exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. There's no difference between, I give many lectures that call, does money have a soul? You know, and I did it in front of hedge fund in New York, very famous one. And when I spoke in front of people, of course, the beginning, when they look at me, it was a little bit weird. Why is this guy coming and why the boss hired this guy to talk to us for 1 hour doing the stock market time, you know? And I had 42, basically a big office people, you know, people who are investing $100 million and above. So we're talking about large amount of money. So standing in front of them and explaining to them, of course, the first 10 minutes was tough to go ahead and tell people, would you believe me if I tell you that money and spirituality is exactly the same rules? And they look at me like, no way. And then after 15 minutes into the talk, we start talking about simple stuff like when you earn the first million or when you get the first million, what's the difference? And that's a question when I ask them. And when people realize that it's all about earning, spirituality is all about teaching people how to earn what they want, not how to receive what they want. Most people want to receive different things. Everybody has a dream. Everybody want to be a star. But in the end of the day, did you earn it? If you didn't earn it, expect it to make you miserable. If you did earn it, whatever you earn, then make you happy. And then come the next test. Are you willing to share what you have? And if you don't, then whatever you have right now doesn't bring you happiness. It's a very simple concept. And I hope people will start to understanding that the name of the game of life, it's called earning, not receiving. So instead of putting a list on the first day of the year, what you want to get, put a list of what do you want to earn.
That's very interesting. And we're going to dig into that a little bit more. Before we do, though, I know you've said that there are many millionaires and billionaires, but few are fulfilled. Few live the ultimate billionaire lifestyle. Why is it that these people have all this money and they're not fulfilled?
Why they're not fulfilled? Very simple. If you develop a skill, okay, let's say you develop a skill of being Olympic runner or lifting weight or making money, it's a skill. Making money is just a skill. So you develop that skill, you will develop that muscles for 20 years, you just develop that muscle. You're only going to have one muscle, and that muscle will be making money muscle. You have a making money muscle. Can you imagine that only one of your muscle in the body develop, and the rest of the body is collapsing? The same thing with your personality. If in your personality you only develop the muscle of making money, then the rest of the body fall apart, or the rest of your spirit fall apart. So you develop making money, but you didn't develop the skills of relationship. You develop making money, but you didn't develop the skills of loving your wife or your kids or people around you or your husband. You didn't develop the skills of being kind. You didn't develop the skills of forgiving. You didn't develop the skill of connecting to a higher force called the divine. So what do you want? The person only has money, only. Because just having money, it's terrible. Because you're asking yourself a question. What's going on? I have the private jet, I have the house, I have the Mercedes, I have all the good things. People love me for the wrong reason, of course, and all of those things. And in the end of the day, you're alone because you are in the money alone. There's nothing going on there. You never develop any other muscle or any other skills. So think about it. It's a common sense.
And we have to work on ourselves and create that harmony across all the areas of life. We can't just have it in one area because, as you said, in that essentially you're unbalanced, which is the problem. So I know you wrote a book to help people. It's called The Laughing Billionaire: How to Become Rich and Happy. Why did you choose to write the book?
Very simple. It's a story that I share with everybody who asking me that. It's a very simple story. I was driving with a wealthy guy in his fancy car, and he happened to stop next to a bunch of people who are looking for sandwich, homeless, looking for money. And he stopped there and he looked at them, and they were happy. They were actually dancing to some music. So after he gave them the sandwiches, we drove, and I see him crying. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, I have all the money in the world, but I don't have simplicity. I don't have that joy that those people in the street have." Then I was helping people who just been released from the rehab. I used to volunteer for 2 years in the rehab centers in different places in the country. So when they've been released, they were just dreaming about money, 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 money. And they always say, if I will have money, I will be happy. So I realized that there's something very weird going on here. The rich people want to be happy, and they think they're not happy because they focus only on money. The poor people want to be happy, and they believe they're not happy because they don't have the money. So I said, we got to share some information here from thousands of years ago and make it simple for the people to understand that whatever you develop skills of being rich or being happy, you need to understand we are driving on the same road. And being happy and rich, if you follow this specific book, you will develop yourself from nothing into something in the area of sustenance, from nothing into something in the area of spirituality and happiness. That's why I wrote this book. It's a practical book, if you read it, to help people chapter by chapter, getting into a level when you are achieving sustenance, work, and happiness in the same time.
And that's very true. You have to work on all of these things together and do it in harmony so that you can achieve that. One of the things that I've noticed you said is that we have to think big, but you said that people who think small are selfish.
You read my book, I see. That's very good. Yes, that's my famous thing when I say in all my public speaking. When you think small, you're selfish. You want me to explain it, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Why do you think it is small? Because you think about yourself. Because when you thinking about one person, you don't have to think big, you just think small. So that's being thinking just about you. When you think big, let's say you think billion, what are you going to do with $1 billion? It's too much money. You have nothing to do with it. What is a person going to live for? I don't know, 86 years old, let's say? Nice. 86 years old, let's give him 92. 92 years old. What is he going to do when he's 55 and now we have $1 billion? He cannot spend it till 92. What are you going to do with this money? So when you make big money or when you're thinking big, you are thinking about other people. You can't think just about yourself. First, you're giving job to other people. Second, you are helping to give charity if you're a generous person. You're going out of the box. But when you're thinking about, me, myself, thinking small, because there is a lot of people who think it's humble to think small. No, it's selfish to think small. Why are you thinking about yourself? If the creator, the divine God gave you a skills, how to make money, how to make big things happen. I don't believe everybody can think, let's say, if we bring names like Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or people like that, they think their skill of thinking about money is very different than most people. They think different. And because of that, they can give job to thousands of people. This is what I meant by when you think small, if you are going to your kitchen and you try to cook for one person, that's thinking selfish. If you're cooking for 25 people, that's thinking not selfish. That's what I meant. I hope it's clear.
I think it was, very clear that we have to do for more than just ourselves. And I think for a lot of people, they're so self-absorbed within their own selves that they don't think of anything bigger than that. And so I think that's very important to do that. So how do we begin that process of letting go in a sense? Because that's what we have to do, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the point of thinking big is to stop while you're doing what you're doing. You got to learn to stop. Let's say you start something and you say, why am I doing these things? And who else benefit from that thing that I'm doing beside me? Those are the two simple questions that you got to ask. Why and who else benefit? Who else benefit from it beside me? If it's just me, you're on the wrong direction. You're absolutely on the wrong direction. So you got to find out that there is another human being that benefit from your existence beside you. And if there isn't, what are you doing it for? Selfishness never going to make you happy. Selfishness never made anybody happy. And unfortunately, many people who are trying to be selfish and they think that at the end of the day, if I get what I want, I will be happy. You're not going to be happy. You're going to be happy for two reasons: when you share and when you earn. That's the two things that make human being happy. What are you sharing and what are you earning? And it's very difficult sometimes to earn. Let's say if you're born smart or beautiful, how do you earn that? Let's say you're born to a rich family who give you all the money that you want. How do you earn that? By sharing. If you share your beauty for the right reason, if you share your wisdom for the right reason, if you share your wisdom not to manipulate people, you share the wisdom so other people will make it. You share your beauty not just to find that you'll be attractive and use people. Use your beauty to give a good message to society. If you take a model and she will share a spiritual message, or he will share a spiritual message, of course more people will apply it, because it's pleasant to the eyes to see beautiful people share knowledge than people who are just spiritual and they don't have the look. Okay, so everybody has to start looking inside. What is the gift that you're born with? What is the gift that you earn? And how can you share it with others? Think big.
I think people struggle, though, to figure out what their gifts are because they don't appreciate them.
Oh, that's a tough question. If a person is not seeing what they have, or if the person don't appreciate what they have because they're not aware of the good thing they have, then sometimes bad things need to happen to wake us up. Unfortunately, sometimes when negative things happen to you, you wake up to start to appreciate the thing that you already have and you took it for granted. And unfortunately, that's what normally happens. You have to go to some tough time to appreciate the normal time.
And I think I've heard you say that. Whatever happens to us right now is the best thing that ever happened to us. And it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, correct? Bad things, just like you said, help us.
Yeah, I mentioned it in the book. There is good things and bad things are different. They just wrap differently. It's almost like you have the same gift that you receive for Christmas or Hanukkah, and it just wrapped differently. One wrap in a terrible paper and one wrap in a great paper. And the idea is the inside is the same. It's just how you're taking it. So whatever happened to you is the best thing that can ever happen to you. You just not necessarily get it yet because you're not yet capable of getting it. You don't have the tools to get how wonderful it is.
And it's a process to go through to kind of build. I've heard you say that the universe provides everything that we kind of need, but we have to overcome in order to get it. Could you explain that a little bit more?
Of course. Try to imagine that your goal this year is to achieve $5 million. That $5 million that you want to make, it's already in your house. But there is a certain thing that you need to do, that you need to change within your personality, so you will have a container, a vessel to receive that $5 million. So for some people, it's overcoming jealousy. For other people, is forgiveness. For other people, is remove some addiction. Meaning, our spirit is like a container. That container is supposed to receive a blessing, whatever it is, money, health, love. That blessing that is already waiting for us, it depends on ourselves cleaning that container and get ourselves ready to receive that amount of abundance from above.
So that's about letting go. So how do we let go of our beliefs, and how do we know which ones we should let go of?
What do you mean? Or how do we let go of negative things? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, those things that are holding us back. They may not even be negative. They might just be limiting, the things that are limiting us from the success we could have.
I mean, there is a book that's called the Talmud that writes a prisoner cannot release themselves from prison. They need help. So for that reason, a person got to get, a spiritual teacher, mentor, a coach, a life coach that guiding that person to make sure that they are sitting on your case to make sure that you're doing correctly. Because if you're not doing everything correctly, they will call it on you and they will tell you, hey, listen, there is something about you that need to change. And then what you're doing, you start changing it. So you can't just trust that you are the only eyes that see what's wrong and see what you need to change. You got to find what is that need to change, if that makes sense, what I just said.
It does. It does. I mean, we all need help, but I think a lot of people struggle to ask for help. Why do you think that is?
What do you think what is?
Why people struggle to ask for help?
Yeah, because, once you ask for help, it's a bit ego, It's a bit ego. So, your ego has to crash, You gotta go to places where you actually say, I don't know the answer, or I don't know the direction, or I don't know where to start. You have to surrender yourself. You have to let go of control. And if you let go of control, will you trust the driver or the pilot or the captain that take over and tell you where to go? We know that we're living in a time now that people take advantage of other people. I mean, not just in business, even in mentally or spiritually or religiously, people been taken advantage for years. So people are afraid to go ahead and trust and go ahead with that. So how would you know? So in my organization, my nonprofit organization, my goal is always to teach my students how to be leader themselves. My purpose is not for them to follow me. Even they follow me, my purpose is that they will not follow me. And now with the quarantine and everybody staying home, what happened, I get so many call and compliment from my follower and client and student. They tell me, thank you for pushing us so hard to be a leader ourselves, because now we can lead our family. Now we can lead people around us. We no longer have to call you and say, Eliyahu, what should we do with this problem and another problem? You teach us how to be independent. And that's really should be a goal of a spiritual leader all over the world, not to make the people follow you or they need to be around you. The opposite. If they still follow you, that means the leader didn't do a good job. The leader who does a good job is making sure that the people can do it on their own. So for people to surrender and making sure they trust, we need better leader out there. Unfortunately, the leader that lead the world right now, without speaking bad, but it sounds really bad, have an agenda. The leader need the follower more than the follower need the leader. That's what we are right now. And that's why the follower has a hard time to trust.
And we shouldn't follow. We should lead, whether it be within our families, in our business, in life. We can't expect other people to give us the answers and do everything. We've got to learn to lead ourselves.
Yes, but we need to study. We need to study. I mean, I'm considering myself a person who's super, whoever know me, I'm a better student than a teacher. Even people who say I'm a teacher more than a student, but I'm a student. I study from everybody because I don't believe that somebody can affect my soul and my body and my mind. The way I'm listening to people, I learn and I get whatever is working for me. Not everybody is built the way I am, and it's not good or bad. It's just my gift, the way I was born with. So I was born with a gift but I can learn from every human being, and it doesn't mean that I will be a slave for that person who taught me, you know.
And that's very true. I mean, we can learn from good people and bad people. We learn how to do things the right way, and we can learn how things are done the wrong way and how not to do them as well.
Exactly. I met a lot of people that took advantage of me, and I'm not sorry for that. I need those mistakes to happen in my life, and thank God. But if you don't try at all, then what are you doing with your life? You got to try something. And if whatever you try is wrong, that's good. Then say goodbye, almost like a bad relationship. But no, you don't have to get stuck there and try to fix it. Just move on. It's okay.
And so sometimes it's hard to do that, right? It's hard to say I failed and I want to move on, although failure is just part of a learning process. Yet we view it negatively, unfortunately, I think, in life, and or at least in this society. But it's part of our growth, and it's how we figure things out.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe the negative events are way more important than positive events, because negative events put you in a place where you absolutely, if you get the lesson out of it, you're absolutely getting to places like never before. And positive events can be the reward for the time that you overcome some negative event. So you need the negative event for growing. You need the negative event for changing. You need the negative event for understanding what you're doing here. You're understanding your identity, your power. It's so important to have negative event in our life. And whoever never had a negative event in their life, unfortunately, will never grow. We see that strong people are coming from places of either misery or either places that things didn't work the way they wanted. Either the parents were not functioning, dysfunctional family, or a poor family. But if the person born to perfect parents, super rich, super beautiful, super smart, so there is one muscle that can never develop. It's the personality. This muscle can never be developed because you don't have to develop it. You have everything ready for you. So it's very difficult for people like this to make it in life and develop their personality. And for that reason, it's very difficult for those people to grow to the next level. Because whatever they will do, they will have the money. Whatever they will do, they will be healthy. Whatever they're going to do, they will continue to be smart. So when you look at smart, rich, beautiful people, they have a hard time to be able first to enjoy what they have, to earn it, because it's come easy to them. And whenever it comes easy to you, it doesn't give you joy.
And I guess the underlying thing is you're talking about building the skill of resilience, the ability to keep showing up and doing the work in spite of what the outcomes are. Today's episode is sponsored by Profit Answer Man Podcast. Did you know that most small business owners hate looking at their financials? It's one reason they may struggle with business success. The Profit Answer Man podcast helps them ensure they are profitable and can pay their employees and weather the storms we all have to face. It's built on the Profit First methodology of pay yourself first. The Profit Answer Man podcast is a must listen to for every small business owner and anyone who wants to help them survive and thrive. Check it out on your favorite listening platform. So how do we deal with uncertainty? Because life is uncertain, and yet we still need to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is uncertainty? What is uncertainty? What is certainty? I mean, if we understand uncertainty, when do we have uncertainty? Only when we have pain. When a person experiencing pain, then uncertainty manifests itself. And when you have uncertainty, what you got to do is you're going to find certainty. Certainty is in the mind, nothing to do with the words or the action. First, the mind. Are you sure about that you are in the best place, in the best time, in the best position of your life? If you're not, then you can do something about it. But if you're sitting there and complain and become miserable.com and victim.com, and you expect life to get better, I will tell you it's not going to get better. And if it's by coincidence get better, eventually you will pay a big price for that. So again, certainty is a gift of the people who are willing to try to make a difference, to do something with their life. That's certainty. Remember, certainty is you got to overcome something that seems something weird going on, and you are looking at it and say, you know what? I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to do something about my life, whatever it is, a health issue, money issue, or love. So if we talk about, let's say we talk about business, money, let's say the stock market right now is unstable. You don't have certainty on what's going to happen. But the point, where is your mind? Are you sure that this uncertain time is the best thing that can happen to you? If yes, that means you have certainty about the uncertainty concept. And for that reason, eventually the result will be great.
And that it will. So I think everybody is looking to grow and improve themselves and get to, I guess, freedom, right? Isn't that the end goal is to be free in a sense?
Freedom can be dangerous. When I was teaching in the rehab center, everybody wants freedom there. But freedom for them mean, when can I get the cocaine again? So I'm afraid that people say freedom is that what they mean. Or when people say the purpose of life is love, and they say, I love fish, that's why I kill it. So the word love and freedom is super, super dangerous. So freedom for me mean when you're capable to be free of what you want. That's true freedom. That what you want not controlling you, you control what you want. That's true essence of freedom. My belief that the purpose of life is one word, happiness. That's the purpose of life, but not short-term happiness, long-term happiness. For long-term happiness, you have to do some change within your system to get it.
So what changes do we have? Because I think everyone wants to have long-term happiness.
Yeah, but are you willing to let go of a short-term happiness? When you look at, I don't know, the creme brulee in front of you, and are you willing to let it go for 5 minutes so you can have a long-term happiness? And sometimes we don't, because we all somehow addicted to something. Some to food, some to anger, some to ego, some to pride, some to money, some to sex. We have something we don't want to let go. That's the 5 minutes happiness. And until we don't let go of that, we are basically stuck with short-term happiness. So to get to long-term happiness, you have to work on yourself. You have to earn everything. You have to share. As I write in my book, 2nd chapter, you got to forgive people. Because if you can't forgive people, then I'm sorry to tell you, there's no hope. Because if you have an issue with somebody from 1989 and you couldn't forgive that person, you are still in 1989. You never move on. You're still stuck. But in the moment that you're moving into a level to say, I let go of that person, I say goodbye to that. I'm no longer going to be busy with it. At that moment, you're opening yourself for opportunity, for something great to happen in your life. That's really what it's all about.
It's not always easy to let go. And it's hard. I think most people struggle with, they want the short term, they want the immediate happiness, and they're not willing to let go of the immediate happiness and do the struggle to get the long-term happiness. It takes time and effort to get there. Of course. And as you say, it takes time. And the idea is, if all what you want is a short-term happiness, then you don't want happiness because you have uncertainty
that happiness is even there and how long it's going to last. And because you worry how long it's going to last, then you don't believe that happiness is there to last. If you don't believe that happiness is there to last, then you don't truly enjoy that 5 minutes happiness even not that 5 minutes. You're just addicted to that 5 minutes of happiness because of the stress and anxiety that you're suffering from. And that's basically therapy. So you can live in a catch-22 nonstop, if you think about it.
And that's true. Part of all of this and happiness, I know you talk about the importance of friendships and relationships. Can you touch on that a little more?
Yeah, I say many times, if a person is not developing the friendly skills with people, strange people you never met before. I'm not talking about Facebook and Instagram, because it's good to have friends on Instagram and Facebook, especially now. But I'm talking about, when you used to go to supermarket or to the mall, are you smiling to people? Are you saying hello? Are you build up a conversation without agenda, just to connect? This is the beginning. Then are you inviting people home? Are you opening your house for the sake of other people enjoy your house? Those things are friendship. Without the person developing a friendship, he cannot practice. He cannot practice something simple as spirituality. There is no spirituality without friendship. You have to have friends to develop the skills of spirituality. And people are the goal and the purpose of this universe. This universe was created for humanity. Very, very simple. We are here together, and we need to learn how to be here together. This is what it's all about. Human being, 7.2 billion people who live in the world are here to learn to live together. Unfortunately, when we judge somebody by religion or the color of the skin or how do you believe in God or why don't you believe in God, we start fighting, and we allowed ourselves sometimes even to kill or take advantage of people. Wrong approach to life. Life is beautiful. We don't have to agree on things. Actually, it's better we don't agree, because that's what makes us unique. But in the same time, what can we do with one another? How can I support your point of view? How can you support my point of view? And that's how friendship is being developed. It's not just marriage and family. Here's neighbors. I will tell you, this Saturday, I yell from my balcony. I say, "Does anybody want to meditate with me?" And it was 14 people came out, and we meditate together. It was so beautiful. Nobody get closer. Of course, everybody, meditate from their balcony, from their window. But the beauty about it, that I invite everybody to join me in something. People I never met. I mean, I know them as neighbors, and some of them are my friend, but there is new neighbor who just moved from New York that I never met. And usually what we do, twice a year, we're going around and we give cookies to the people, and we welcome them to visit our house, so they know that we welcome them and we welcome the neighbor. We do that twice a year. And the idea is not just about to be nice. It's a point of more than to be nice. It's to understand that we need one another. We need one another without having that understanding. Not that I need your money or you need my love. This is the way that the global community work. We are one human body that built from 7.2 billion pieces. That's what we are.
And, society has changed in that it's too easy to get things today. And I remember growing up, if you ran out of something, you'd borrow it from the neighbor, whether it be an egg or a cup of sugar or some other item. Or if you needed help with something, you might borrow a tool from a neighbor. These days, everyone seems so kind of separated. And I'm just glad. I know where I live, we get together as a community. We get together with the neighbors, and it makes for a much happier community to live in.
There is a proof to that scientifically. You should read the whole study. It's a beautiful study. They talk about that people who basically develop the skills of being with other people. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I just read the study. have less tendency to get the disease of cancer. And they explain because the disease of cancer has to do with a cell that grow by itself. A cell want to be alone and then kill the entire body. So when people understand the need of being together one with another, it changed the whole game. We are now living in a time of the virus around us, and it put us at home. Before that, people were isolated from each other by choice. Now people have been isolated not by choice. And what it will be developing for later, that people will look for somehow people will look for the idea of being together. So we're giving birth to a true desire to be with one another.
And hopefully that will be an outcome of what we're facing, is that people will understand the need to be together and want to do more of that. Hopefully it won't cause more isolationism with people, but they'll actually get out and do that, and they'll go forward. One of the things I know you talk about in the book is giving through volunteering, and that has tremendous benefits for us as well. So I'd love for you to expand on that.
Yeah, I mean, volunteering is a must. I always tell my kids, I tell people, the way I work with my children, everybody got to give back whatever it is. Let's say if you make money, I always teach my kids 10% has to go for charity. Doesn't matter if you make $100, $10 is not yours. So everybody in our family understanding, you give 10% of your time, you give 10% of your love, and you give 10% of your money. You got to give. Now, 10% of your time is the volunteering. My wife and me build a non-profit organization that basically teach people spirituality for free. It's the only site with 400 hours of study that everybody can go on and enjoy for free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to do anything. Just go in and study. That's all what you got to do. So the whole concept of what we build is to set up an example for other people that they got to give. Now, you can volunteer in the hospital. You can volunteer in other places. We all can find something to do. It doesn't have to be unique or famous or special. I tell you, I wrote a 3 children book. So my wife and me went to Miami to the children's hospital, and we read it in front of the kids who had very difficult time to survive. And I'm telling you, we get more pleasure of doing that, of giving, because you give back. You got to give back. You cannot only receive, you cannot only inhale. You have to exhale eventually. You got to give something. So we get the books for children, for free. We go to so many schools in New York, in Miami, in Los Angeles, in Chicago, everywhere in the country, in Israel, in London. And the idea is to make sure that we want to give kids education and spiritual education, that they will learn to respect each other. Right after that, I was just asked, and that's how Karma work, by many schools to write a spiritual program for school, which I'm developing right now. It's finished, so my team are working on developing it, and soon it will be released to all the school system, how the kids will respect one another, how the kids will start to volunteer. And it's amazing from a very young age. We're going to make sure that kids are basically develop themselves to understand the gift of giving.
And thank you for sharing that and for doing that. If someone went to that website to learn more, what are the types of things that they would learn from your website?
Okay, it's a good question. I will tell you that in around April 15, I'm going to come up with 40 new easy lecture, because the site has some deep lecture that it's not yet perfect for everybody. Not because everybody is not smart, because the vocabulary and the words that come from ancient Hebrew from 4,000 years ago might be very difficult for the audience. But if they going now, so I recommend they just do a lecture that's called Kabbalah Gym, and the Kabbalah Gym will be good enough for them. And if they want to go further than that, if they want to study about reincarnation or astrology or more than that, you have to be ready for that. You have to be able to, it's a study that takes time. But if you want to try, go ahead and try. It's a vitaltransformation.org. It's wonderful, and everybody can go there and study. The study is focusing on spirituality, on developing your personality, on overcoming the all the gift that we have into sharing. How do you turn gift into giving? So all those things that we want to improve our life. That's what this specific site is for.
And it's, as you said, it takes time, and you have to be ready for the information because it's not something that happens immediately. It's a process, right? You don't learn calculus until you learn to add and subtract. So you've got to go through, and it is a process, and it does take time.
Yes, exactly right. And it's very important that if you wait on April 15, then I release lecture that will prepare you for all the other things. So that makes me really happy that I work very hard with my team to shoot the easy video that everybody will be able to digest, and everybody will be able to understand everything, because it's my goal and my dream to make sure that everybody will be able to study in the right way spirituality, because spirituality is so much needed in our time. Spirituality is not just how you pray. Spirituality is knowing your well-being and how to become a better person toward yourself, and not judge yourself or blame yourself. The opposite. Look for how you take responsibility for everything. That's what spirituality is all about.
It is. I think a lot of people sometimes get confused. What do you see as the difference between spirituality and religion?
Well, religion, finding God outside of yourself, and spirituality, finding God within yourself. I believe that's the only difference. I mean, I come from a family, my mother born Jewish Orthodox. My father grew up to be a non-believer because of his tough life that he went through. So I grew with basically the opposite side of the coin. And that helped me to discover spirituality, which is believe that there is a higher divine, higher force, but understand that the higher force connect to the inner soul within you. And when you are making yourself better, you connect to something much better within the universe, within the collective universe. So we believe in karma, we believe in reincarnation, we are believing in transformation. That's what we call this, the organization Vital Transformation. We believe that if you transform yourself, then you will be open for all the blessing to come. It's not that if you're a bad guy, or a good person, you're going to get or you're not going to get. That's not what it's all about. You are going to get no matter what. But if you will enjoy what you're going to get or will not enjoy what you're going to get, that depends on your behavior. That's spirituality.
And thank you for sharing that. We always like to leave people with an action step. What is one thing people can do this week to improve their lives?
Well, this week, we are happy to talk today, which is the new moon of Aries, just start last night. So because of the new moon of Aries, we have to initiate some type of happiness. Every person have to find something to be happy about today. Dance, sing, do something that make you truly happy, and make sure that you make another human being who's happy because of you. So that's, if you want to take action, happiness, singing, dancing. Today is the day that you go out of your comfort zone and you are making other people happy because of you.
And that's something we can do every day.
Of course.
It's time to learn the secrets of life. What's your secret to living an abundant life?
My secret to living an abundant life is never stop desiring things. You can't let the desire die. If you want to live abundant life, you always have to desire. If your desire die, the abundant life die. Very simple.
And it's funny because I think people look at desires sometimes as bad because they're looking for bigger or materialistic things, I guess. That might be why.
even if you look for materialistic things, it's okay. As I say before, think big. And because you think big, then you're going to share big. Don't be cheap. If you have 1 billion, then share 100 billion. Everybody got to share minimum 10% of what they have.
That they can. What did you learn later in life that you would have wished you would have learned sooner?
About 1,000 things, but I got to choose one. Yeah, about 1,000 things at least. So what I learned later in life that it's not worth at all. It's not worth it to hold grudge or to get into kind of lack of forgiveness. You got to move on. You know, I went to a lot of tough time in my life. I mean, people who took advantage of me and did a lot of unnecessary things to me and my family, but it was part of my growth. And I think I hold some of that pain a little bit too long. And once I let go, I start becoming super successful in all area of life. And because of that, I believe if I would do it a little bit earlier, I would see the success way before.
And that's true. It's hard to enjoy life when you're holding grudges. If you were to give an 18-year-old one specific piece of wisdom, what would it be?
Wow. That's a great question. Well, my son is 18 and a half. So what I tell him a few things. First, I say, whatever mistake you're doing right now, and you will do a mistake, don't do a mistake that you will not be able to correct later on in life. That's the first thing I say. The second thing I say, you know, how do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Once you know how you see yourself 5 years from now, then whatever you do now, it's planning for that 5 years from now to happen.
And we can all do that. I mean, that's advice that I think we can all follow regardless of how old we are.
Yeah, agree.
If people would like to find you, connect, and learn more, what is the best way for them to do that?
There is both way, whatever it is that you can do with my site, eliyahujian.com, or they can go on my nonprofit, which is vt1.org or vitaltransformation.org. You know, so vitaltransformation.org is the nonprofit, and you can find my name there. Or you can just write my name. I mean, whenever you write my name on Google, eliyahujian.com, you're going to find videos on YouTube, on Google, on everywhere that truly can help you to get next level. Or you can go to Amazon if you have kids. You go to Amazon and you can let your kids read my children's book, and it will help them to motivate themselves. And if you want a little bit more mature than 5 years old, then you can read my book, The Laughing Billionaire, you know, that will take you to your own next level of money and happiness and power.
And that it will. And we'll put all of that in the show notes so that it's easy for people to find you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. And it's so pleasant. I mean, to be with you. You're so sweet. And let's make sure we all stay safe and happy, okay?
That we will do. That was an amazing conversation. Does it surprise you that more money will probably not make you more happy? I'm thinking about all the other muscles I need to work on to keep growing in order to live a more fulfilled life. It's a process, and it's not fast. It seems like every time you reach a new level, another level opens up. I'm enjoying the journey. We constantly work on creating harmony in our lives. This week's action step: do something to make you happy. Celebrate, have fun, enjoy. Drop a note on the Facebook page or group and tag me. Let me know what you did to be happy this week. It would make me happy if you share the episode, and it'll make the person you share it with happy too. What's preventing you from moving forward, and who are you putting on your team to help you build the life you deserve? Taking no action creates a far worse outcome in life than trying something and failing. Can I help you achieve your goals through coaching and accountability? Just email. We can start with a short chat to see if we're a good fit for coaching. For many people, one session allows them to take a giant leap forward towards their dreams. Email me at rocky@richersoul.com, or use the scheduling link in the show notes. I'd love to hear how you're doing and how the information I've shared has helped. Thanks for listening. Have an abundant week.